ask Tony Githinji, who is the CEO and Managing Director of Semiconductor Technologies Limited, Kenya. Tony?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, and the panelists in front of us. Mine is an unlikely story. It kind of harps on the diaspora part of this forum. STL is the first semiconductor manufacturing and nanotechnology R&D company in the continent. We are hosted at the Dedan Kimathi University of Technology. That creates a very diverse and a very progressive ecosystem for the manufacturing of semiconductors and research and development. Semiconductor Technologies Limited, we are about 100 semiconductor engineers now, all trained during the COVID period. We are 70% women in STEM. We don't believe that we have to be profitable to contribute to the community around us. We are located about 3 hours away from the capital city, Nairobi, and that was by design, in that sometimes impact is hard to realize when there's so much noise around you. I will try and be obedient and keep the 3 minutes. So as Semiconductor Technologies Limited, our goal and our vision is to be the #1 microchip manufacturer in the continent. Our entry into the continent is unlikely, as I said, in that it's very difficult to find such a high technology and highly complex industry taking root in the continent. Of course, if you ask anybody, the first barrier to entry and the most important one in bringing such a technology into the continent is human resources. The benefit of the ecosystem that we have developed with Dedan Kimathi University is one which tools students through their academic training into attachment in industry. So the business model, or at least the ecosystem model, is where Dedan Kimathi University provides students all the way from second year and even earlier of university. They are attached. They go through their internships and training at Semiconductor Technologies Limited. And eventually, we are the off-takers of those human resources. And so by the time we have employees at Semiconductor Technologies Limited, we have people that have been trained and entrenched in the industry, and so therefore are immediately productive. So the products that we are producing at Semiconductor Technologies are oriented towards a global supply chain of semiconductors, which is arguably about $550 billion a year and growing at a CAGR of about 17 to 23%. Now, if you looked at the semiconductor manufacturing map and the nanotechnology R&D landscape, you do not find any entries in the continent, which is a little bit shameful for us because we have 80% of the resources. And so therefore, what our panelists have already talked about in terms of the value chains and the value addition of the upstream side, which is the minerals, and the value addition of those minerals into microchip technology is very, very important. As you know, the semiconductor technology manufacturing is a very vast industry. It is ubiquitous. It addresses a lot of different vertical industries, including not just the microchips. It addresses biotechnology, it addresses health, it addresses agri-technology in yields. And so there are so many entry points into this industry from the continent. Now, as the definition of diaspora is people who are dispersed from their homeland. I have been outside of the country, being a Kenyan for over 30 years. So yes, 47 billion shillings, Kenya shillings of remittances last month alone pales if you go and get an education, start a business, and bring it back home and employ 100 semiconductor engineers. So we encourage all the people in the diaspora to think about ways of entry. It's not easy, I can tell you that, but there are definitely ways of entry into this very valuable and important industry. Of course, we cannot underscore enough that we cannot do it by ourselves. We have a great partner in Dedan Kimathi University. We're expanding to 2 other universities inside of this year, Strathmore University and University of Eldoret. We are also expanding into Uganda and Kigali. And so we're looking forward to having this ecosystem of distributed centers of knowledge that contribute towards a very durable and important industry. And so we look forward to all of you all contributing and coming to see us and giving us your advice as to how we can make this great for our youth and great for our women in STEM. Thank you.
Tony, every time I listen to you, it's like I'm listening to you for the very first time, the excitement it generates. Our last speaker is Excellent.